Rolling here into the Junior Shorthorn Show. We welcome Jake Scott back to the Ford F-150 EcoBoost show ring. He is going to be our judge for our junior show. Let's get it kicked off right here with class number one. Class number one, going to be a single entry class, a spring heifer, calved after March 1st of this year. It is tag number 156, Colt W.W. Gentry, presented by Tate Luth of Curtis, Nebraska.
Well, I welcome you to the Junior Shorthorn Heifer Show here, and we're going to start with a little May heifer calf that's a nice one. A heifer that I think is pretty interesting in that she's so chiseled out in her front end, yet a heifer that's still got a lot of meat and muscle in her. You get right in behind this heifer, and she's got some width and shape of muscle over her top. Set out pretty wide and square there from hooks to pins, and it's got some width as she goes away from you. I like the kind of rib she has. Not only that, she's got some depth from the side. Kurt and I were just talking about this at ringside, but you get behind that one and she's got some true shape and some boldness and curvature to her rib. And I like that about her. You might loosen this one up just a little bit as she goes around the ring, but a really nice May baby. Great way to start our show this afternoon. Congratulations.
Very nice start to the show right there. That is number 156, tag 156, Colt W.W. Gentry. Shown by Tate Luth of Curtis, Nebraska. That is going to be your junior heifer calf champion. Let's drop right down to class number 5 now. Class 5, early spring yearling females, calving March 1st through the end of April. Another single entry class. Tag number 157, Strawberry. Again shown by Tate Luth of Curtis, Nebraska.
as this single entry heifer pulls around into place here for a profile. Really compliment her on the amount of power and shape that she's got. Here's another one of the really good bodied Shorthorn heifers we've seen. She's wide structured from front to rear. I like the thickness and the muscle that she has from hooks to pins. Heifer that stands down on a good degree of bone. And I tell you, this heifer's pretty good in terms of her structure when you watch her move around the ring. If we're going to change her, we could add a little to her balance and to her phenotype by strengthening her just a little bit in her loin, maybe relaxing her in the way she carries her tail head, and you might just sweeten her up ever so slightly up through the front third of her body and that brisket neck. But lots of body and lots of bone, lots of power and shape in this good class-winning heifer. Congratulations.
Nice entry there. Number 157, that is Strawberry again, shown by Tate Luth of Curtis, Nebraska. We'll drop right down to class number 6 now. Going to class 6. These are junior yearling females, calved from the first of the year through the end of February 2016. It is a double entry class. We have got tag number 149. Tag number 149, shown by Isabel Gillard of Stevensville, Montana. And tag number 151, Diana Eloise, showed by Bethany Lyford of Kalispell, Montana.
We're going to use the red and white roan heifer here to win the class. And I think as you compare these two heifers that really have some similarities, the big difference that defines them is the muscle. And you get in behind them, and certainly this roan heifer's got more width and thickness from behind, wider and square out of her pins there, wider as you study her down towards the ground, watching her walk away from you. Also a heifer that's cleaner in her chest and nicer there in her brisket. The red heifer that's going to place second, kind of a bigger framed heifer, probably a notch longer than our class-winning heifer, and a heifer that I like in terms of her strength of top. If we're going to pick on that class-winning heifer a little bit, she wants to break in there behind her shoulder and in the middle of her back to her loin, and this heifer does a better job of maintaining some strength and levelness than does our class-winning heifer. But a pair of good heifers. Congratulations to you both.
Very nice pair of heifers right there. Finishing in the 2 spot, Diana Eloise, tag number 151, shown by Bethany Lyford of Kalispell, Montana. And at the top of the class, Bonalila, number 149, shown by Isabel Gillard of Stevensville, Montana. We'll welcome back to the arena now. Tag number 157, Strawberry, shown by Tate Luth of Curtis, Nebraska. This will be for the selection of the reserve grand champion yearling, the reserve champion yearling female, and the champion yearling female.
Well, congratulations to both of our yearling heifer exhibitors here. Heifers that's got a lot in common in terms of their size and their length and their type and their kind. For me, there's a heifer that I think really has some advantages in balance and body and in stoutness. I'm talking about the young man's heifer that came out of that earlier class. I just think there's so much more bone there. I think she's got more strength and more power down her top. I think she's a better bodied, better ribbed heifer. It's got a little more of a cowy look to her. So today we're going to use the young man's heifer for the division champion, followed up by the young ladies heifer out of the last class for reserve. Congratulations to you both.
Congratulations to our reserve champion. That's tag ID number 149, Bonalila, shown by Isabel Galliard of Stevensville, Montana. And congratulations to the champion yearling female, tag number 157, Strawberry, shown by Tate Luth of Curtis, Nebraska.
I think this makes for a pretty interesting pair of heifers to describe because there's some differences and each of them have some real unique strong points that you like a great deal. And starting with the big heifer that the young man's showing, boy, you have to admire her in terms of her body and the power that she has in terms of her muscle and her structure. A heifer that I think in terms of balance, probably gives up a little bit to the calf. She's maybe just a little weaker in her loin, just a little rougher out of her tail head. Probably not the neatness and femininity and refinement up through the front third of her body that we see in the calf, but awesome in terms of body and power, and really one that I think gets around a little bit easier on her feet and legs as we watch them in motion. As I alluded to already, the red and white calf that won that division, extremely fancy on the profile, very long-necked, very, very clean and refined and tight about her chest and brisket, very clean through her navel, very strong in her lines. This heifer comes out really level in behind her shoulder and strong, maintains a lot of that strength and balance and levelness through her loin and probably even lays in a little better through her tail head than the big heifer in front, although she's not exactly perfect. But this one, on the other hand, I'd like to just free up a little bit when you watch her move, maybe just a little straight and stiff in the way she handles her hock and knee, a little straighter there at the ground. So for me today, we're going to use the big red heifer, the big roan heifer rather, for your champion. Congratulations.
Congratulations to our champion right there, tag number 157, Strawberry, shown by Tate Luth of Curtis, Nebraska. And congratulations to tag ID number 156, that is Colt Gentry, finishing. Congratulations there to tag number 156, Colt Gentry, finishing in the number 2 position. We're going to go to class number 22 now. Class 22. Correction, class number 18. Shorthorn plus spring heifers. Going to be tag number 155, Long Cool Woman, shown by Samantha Boak of Fishtail, Montana. Again, tag number 155. This is class 18, Long Cool Woman, shown by Samantha Boak of Fishtail, Montana. A single entry.
I told this young lady that her heifer lives up to her name. I think they said it was Long Cool Woman, and that heifer's cool. That's a good way to describe her. I really like the cowiness that this young heifer has. Boy, at this age, she exhibits a lot of body and a lot of rib and a lot of capacity, and I like that about her. I think the heifer sizes up relatively well for frame and performance. I love the hip structure that she has in her in terms of the length and levelness and squareness, the set to her tail head. You put this one in motion and she handles herself really, really good out on the move. Takes a long, effortless, easy stride. She's got an awesome way of going around the ring. Heifer might be just a little deep in her neck set and her neck attachment. For me, if you're going to get picky on her, you might just kind of clean up the way that her neck comes out of her shoulder, but don't want to get too picky on one that has that many positives. A real deserving class winner. Congratulations.
Again, a very nice single entry right there. That is Long Cool Woman, tag number 155, shown by Samantha Boak of Fishtail, Montana. And she will then also be our calf champion. And we'll go now to class 22. Class number 22. This is Shorthorn plus early spring yearling females. A single entry here. Tag number 150. Miss Ellie's Child, shown by Coy Kaiser of Savory, Wyoming.
This is a good growth, good performance type of heifer in this single entry class, and a heifer that's got some muscle to her. You get behind her, and she's got some top shape and some width and some thickness to her hip, especially up high in the top part of her hip. Still maintains some width as she goes away from you. As I said, I love the length and extension, especially there in the middle part of her body. If you're going to try and improve this heifer and think of ways that she could be any better, I guess for me, she's getting a little straight in her shoulder and a little short in the stride as you watch her go around on those front two. Sure needs to be better at the ground in terms of hoof quality and correctness, and a heifer that you'd like to pick up a little bit from hooks to pins as you study her in terms of levelness and squareness and correctness. But a good heifer in terms of her growth, length, and muscle. Congratulations.
And tag number 150, Miss Ellie's Child, is also, of course, going to be our champion yearling female. Congratulations. She was shown by Coy Kaiser of Savory, Wyoming. All right, we'll go to select our champion for Shorthorn Plus. So we welcome back to the Ford F-150 EcoBoost Show Ring. Tag ID 155. This is Samantha Boak of Fishtail, Montana, showing Long Cool Woman. And tag number 150, Coy Kaiser of Savory, Wyoming, showing Miss Ellie's Child.
Not very many to look at here in the Shorthorn Plus show, but I think we've got one out here that is a real deserving champion. For me, it's going to be the calf, just to cut to the chase. Boy, I love the way that one's made in terms of her body and her hip and her structure. And as you compare these two, she's more my kind, and the levelness and squareness of hip that she has, the freedom and ease of movement that she has, and the body depth and the capacity that she has. Might, like I said, just change her a little bit up through that neck and the way that she attaches, but I think a lot of cowiness and a lot of goodness. Congratulations on the calf for being champion, and of course followed up by the big heifer in reserve. Love the length, love the thickness. Maybe just see some of that extra balance that's in our calf up here. If we could add that to her, like her even better. So congratulations to you both. Very nicely done.
Congratulations indeed. Going to go out to Miss Ellie's Child and Coy Kaiser. They are tag number 150. They are our reserve champion. And of course, our champion Long Cool Woman, tag number 155, shown by Samantha Boak of Fishtail, Montana. We're going to move into the open show right here. At 2:15 on a Sunday, we'll welcome class number 2 in the Shorthorn Show. These are early spring heifer calves that have calved in April of 2017. We've got tag ID number 13. That is Lily from the Promised Land Cattle Company in Fishtail, Montana. We've also got tag number 24, Alta Cedar. Also from the Promised Land Cattle Company in Fishtail. And from Powell, Wyoming's Outlaw Cattle Company, we welcome tag number 5. That is Penny.
Starting your Shorthorn show, and like I said, really anxious to see what we get into here today and on your April calves here. And to me, the heifer that blends things together, I guess the best for me is our heifer here in First. I mean, she's one that she's got some length to her. She's really nice and straight up over her top. You love her in her lines. She offers the most angle when you look at her from a flexibility standpoint. And I think when we look at her from a maternal standpoint, she's one that offers the most depth of rib. She's one that's probably not as neat and attractive out of her front 1/3. She's not as chiseled out through that neckline maybe as some others in here. But when you ask her to walk away and you get up on her, and I just think there's more heifer there. She has the most internal muscle. She offers the most width throughout. To me, she's your class winner. I'm going to say this a little bit, and you can switch these too. I wouldn't argue a bit. I feel like our second place heifer, she's a little hard to look at, I'll be honest with you. But, I mean, she's one that I'm telling you what, if you're talking about cool, that one's the cool one of the class to me. Is she need a little more time? Yes. She's the one that if I could pick out one that I think is a sleeper, one that to me would be fun to look at in 60 days, she's definitely that. And, I mean, when she gets her set, there's not one that's any cooler than that. She doesn't offer the most depth today. She doesn't offer the most to me with, but that one there is cool made and one that's sharp looking. And I think the thing that probably gets me a little bit on these two here, it's all going to go into their chest floor. If you look in between her legs and you compare that to like our third place heifer, her chest floor is a little bit more up in her, a little more in line with her overall, to me, rib shape and depth. And to me, she offers the most balance underneath. I mean, you can, and like I said, you can weigh it up however you want. Our third place heifer, and I'm telling you what, this is a nice lineup of heifers starting off your show here. That heifer there offers a lot of value. One that's got a good look. She's one that, there's some things that I like about her better than our second place heifer. But when we look at her, she's just not as even in her underline. To me, she offers too much chest. To me, that's the deal that seals the deal here for me today. And like I said, I wouldn't argue if you did it another way. So anyway, all in all, strong set of heifers. Great to me, a lot of potential here. One that to me, like I said, a lot of the times their best days are ahead of them. Like I said, and definitely got a good start. Congratulations.
Very nice start to our open show right there. Finishing in the top two of the class there. Going to be tag number 5. That is Penny, shown by Powell, Wyoming's Outlaw Cattle Company. And finishing at the top of the class, tag number 13 from Fishtail, Montana, Promised Land Cattle Company, and that was Lily. We're going to bring it right now to class number 3. These are early spring heifer calves, calving in the month of March. We welcome tag number 14. Tag 14 is Lady in Roan. Brought to you by the Promised Land Cattle Company, Fishtail, Montana. We welcome tag number 15, Party Girl. Also from Fishtail, Montana's Promised Land Cattle Company. We'll welcome tag number 10, Cook Lady Yuma. From Crawford, Nebraska, Cook Cattle Company. Tag number 9, Flawless White Sox. Crawford, Nebraska, Cook Cattle Company. And Mysterious Jenna, she is tag ID number 6. She is from Powell, Wyoming, off the Outlaw Cattle Company.
I'm going to leave these like they are, and I think our heifer starting off the class here, just a real quick find for me. I think she surfaces pretty quick. When I look at her from a management standpoint, you look on how she's developed. To me, her overall condition combined with her length. To me, she's one that's really cool up out of her front end. I mean, she offers some performance here, a ton of look, one that's just got a great amount of eye appeal, but one that can get around and track and travel. I mean, she is so even in her lower rib shape and belly and the way she ties back into her flank, one that's very even in that respect, and I think just comes up here pretty quick and hard and fast here. Second, third, you know what, you can toss them two around a little bit. I just feel like our second place heifer, there's just more of her. I mean, she's a little farther along. She's one that's a little bit more looser in her makeup. She maybe wants to get pulled apart a little bit. A lot of times you'll catch her and she'll be a little more opened up behind those shoulders, a little bit more, just doesn't carry her top line quite as good as our first place heifer, but she's big boned. She's got some muscle and some shape to her. And I guess that probably is what seals the deal for me coming in here in third. Our third place heifer, if I could pick one that to me has got a pretty cool future, possibly one that's really, to me, when you look at her from a natural ring presence standpoint, they've done a great job of putting her together. She's just trim. She's skinny, a little bit lean. You know what? She's just not as far along. And if I look at and you compare these two heifers ahead of her, she just has to go in third. I'm not saying, down the road, a little more feed, a little more time. A lot of times I think we can change it up a little bit, but that one right there, like I said, if you're looking at one that to me is going to have a fun start for the next year, that one could be it. I think coming in here, and like I said, they do get a little bit, I think those two are comparable in their body score. Our heifer comes in there, she's probably, she's deeper. I mean, in that regard, she's probably not as heavy made. She's probably not as neat in her neckline as the heifer up above, but awfully good as well. And like I said, we conclude, there again, there's a long spine heifer, a heifer that to me is a growthy kind of female. She's just, when you get her out here in track, she just doesn't hold herself together as good, probably doesn't balance up as good. And to me, that's what kind of separates her from a little bit as we get on through up here and up the lines here. But a nice set of heifers, like I said, in your Shorthorn show out here today. Congratulations.
Very impressive class right there. Class number 3, finishing in the top 2 spots. From Cook Cattle Company in the reserve position, tag ID number 9, Crawford, Nebraska's Flawless White Sox. And then at the top, Promised Land Cattle Company, Fishtail, Montana. Tag number 14, that is Lady in Roan. And we'll bring back to the Ford F-150 EconoBoost show ring. Promised Land Cattle Company, Fishtail, Montana. Tag ID number 14, Lady in Roan, as well as Lily. Tag number 13, also from the Fishtail Cattle Company. Also from the Promised Land Cattle Company in Fishtail, Montana. We are looking for tag number 9, Flawless White Sox from the Cook Cattle Company. Tag number 9, if you would please. Report to the Ford F-150 EcoBoost show ring.
As we select your, like I said, calf champion here in the Heifer Show, and they're, like I said, coming back, and I think there's some, as we look into these cattle, I do think there's some similarities. Our class winners, to me, have been, pretty easy to find in each class respectively, but I think there's been some depth. There's been some little bit of changes as we get in here. Yeah, bring that heifer on in here, okay? Anyway, to me, there's a heifer out here that puts a lot of things together that I like. One that surfaces quick. She's one that, like I said, just caught my eye. One that got my eye real fast. That'll be the heifer out of class number 2. She'll be your calf champion out here today. Congratulations. Here you go. Come here. Let's bring her up here, okay? As we bring our second place heifer in here, and to me, I think the challenge here between these two is our heifer out of class 1, is a little bit more sleek. She's a little bit more trim. She's definitely more angular, nice up over her top, sound on her feet and legs. Just a really, really complete kind of heifer. When you look at her, I mean, she has in that particular class. Had the most width. I mean, as far as inner muscle and natural shape to her. We come out of class 2, that heifer is a little bit more powerful in her bone, a little bit more, to me, when you look at her from behind, there's just a little bit more width all the way through here. She'll be your reserve champion out here in this particular division. I'm glad you brought her back. How about that? But anyway, awfully strong set of heifers out here today. Congratulations.
Congratulations to our reserve early spring heifer calf champion from the Cook Cattle Company of Crawford, Nebraska, tag number 9, Flawless White Sox, and congratulations to our heifer calf champion from the Promised Land Cattle Company in Fishtail, Montana, tag number 14, that is Lady in Roan. We'll go right into class number 4 now. Is a junior heifer calf that calved in the month of February. This is tag number 4, Colt W.W. Gentry, shown by Tate Luth of Curtis, Nebraska.
We have a May heifer here, and you know, one that definitely can stand some more competition. Here's one that extended out of her front end. You know, she's to me one that, as you look at her, I mean, she's one that angles to the front. Definitely one that has some power and some bone, one that has some underline and to me some natural depth. She's one that probably, you know, she's longer and flatter muscle, definitely not, you know, it is a little more greener. I mean, you ask her to get out here and travel. To me, she really handles that awfully well. One that's very agile and athletic. You know, however, that just when you get her out here on the profile, you really appreciate what she offers out here today. We'll see her back in here for your division later on. Congratulations.
That is Colt WW Gentry, tag number 4. And she is going to be your junior heifer calf champion. And we will move right now into your class number 10, early spring yearling heifers, born March 1st and following through April 30th. We'll have tag number 16. That's going to be Miss Ruth from the Promised Land Cattle Company of Fishtail. Also, tag number 17, Missy Ruth from the Promised Land Cattle Company in Fishtail. And Strawberry, she's tag number 3, shown by Tate Luth of Curtis, Nebraska.
Let's just come right out here, okay? Huh? Oh, there is? Oh, okay. All right. Go ahead and go up here then. Okay. All right. Thank you for telling me. Nobody's telling me much here. 2 more, yeah. He'll win the class if they don't show up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you bet. No problem. Yeah, got it. Nope, it's all good. He said just go ahead and start judging.
Yeah.
He kind of likes this there scenario. How many, let's see, how many classes have this in? This is a purebred show, right?
Yeah. And I'll go junior, overall.
In our pluses?
Yeah.
Or no, calf,
Full
bull
calf.
calves. Do you do plus?
Yeah, they're
Oh, I got, so those would be bull calves on the plus side too, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
2 plus heifers and 2 plus bulls. I think all 4 blue roans right at the end. Yeah. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not a show guy. I'm just a purebred breeder.
It's all good.
You know.
As long as I know what's coming in here,
Yeah.
it's all good.
Go ahead. 16 goes in second. Right. Go ahead.
That's it.
Yep.
three really nice heifers, and I just think when we look at this trio, and there is some differences in these, but they're all, like I said, they're all got a lot of quality out here as well. But to me, the most blended heifer of the group, the one that to me offers some substance, one that combines that with, like I said, that maternal look, one that to me definitely can get around the ring and travel. You look at her from a muscle standpoint, I would say she's adequate. She's not the most powerful heifer of the group. I think she probably lands there in about second in that particular category. But man, but to me, where she wins it is when you look at the package deal. That heifer offers the most package. She offers the most balance. That's just a really, really nice heifer that's youthful looking. She's fresh looking, and it's just one that would make a really nice super cow to me later on down the road. It got to be where I had to do a little trade-off here, and when I look at, I'm going with a little more power for me. You know what? I appreciate this heifer at having the bone that she has. She's deep-bodied. She's probably, without a doubt, the stoutest heifer of the class. She does offer the most depth in her chest floor. I would like to actually clean her up in that regard. She's one that her tail head just doesn't sit down in here as level. It's a little more up. It actually it makes her look like she's a little shallow in her loin edge, but I actually don't think her loin's a problem. I think it's her tail head's a little more taller. And so to me, I'd like to put that down in her a little bit. Like I said, those are a couple things I'd like to change. Our third place heifer, she has a little bit of the prolific look like our first place heifer, but when you put these all three together, she's probably the one that is the least as far as muscle. She's one that just doesn't have the natural width as the two up ahead of her, and that's really all. I'm just saying is I love that heifer to death. She's good looking. I just like to power her up. That's it. So anyway, awfully good set of trio heifers here. Like I said, congratulations. Like I said, very, very strong out here in this particular class. Congratulations.
Congratulations right there to our top two. Finishing in the number 2 spot, tag number 3, Strawberry, shown by Tate Luth of Curtis, Nebraska. And finishing in the top spot, Fishtail, Montana's Promise Cattle Company with Missy Ruth. And now we'll bring this one back, right?
No. Nope. That was them. So
So that was our junior female champion and reserve champion.
yeah.
And of course, those are reserve and our junior female champion. So we'll move right now to class number 11. Class 11 is junior yearling heifers born January 1st through the end of February of the year 2016. Gonna be tag number 1, tag ID number 1, Bone Leela from Isabel Galliard of Stevensville, Montana. We also welcome tag number 8, Diana Eloise, shown by Bethany Lyford of Kalispell, Montana. It's a double entry class right here. I do want to let you know something. I'm sure not trying to push you away from the cattle show, but if you get just a minute or two to step outside, the NILE Beer BQ is going on. It's going from 2 to 6 o'clock today. There are samples available. They've got good music from El Wincho. El Wincho is out there playing live. It's free admission. You can buy kind of package deals for $25. You can buy samples for $2 a piece. Go on out there, get just a breath of fresh air for a minute, grab yourself a cold microbrew, and then come right back in here and watch the rest of our great cattle shows this afternoon. Again, that is the NILE Beer BQ. It is going on outside till 6 o'clock this evening. It's the first year we've done it at the NILE, and I think it is going to be a very, very good addition. Microbrews right outside. But again, we are welcoming to the Ford F-150 EcoBoost show ring Isabel Galliard, Stevensville, Montana, with tag number 1, Bonalila, that is. And Bethany Lyford of Kalispell, Montana, she's tag number 8 with Diana Eloise. I misspoke there just a little bit. That barbecue that I was talking about, I said it was outside. I am wrong, which is nothing new for me. It's inside the Metro. It's inside the Metro, so go out, take a little walk up the hill, get inside the Metro there, take part in the barbecue, get yourself something cold to drink, come back down and finish watching this great Shorthorn show.
A red roan heifer here, to me, comes up pretty quick in this particular class, and I think she's one that she's the most powerful. She's one that just got a lot of depth of body, a good rib shape. She's one that when you look at her bone, I mean she's really rugged in her build, and really got some stoutness in that regard. When you look at her and we get into her top line, she wants to open up and be just a notch shallow in that loin. I'd like to kind of, like I said, put that tail head and kind of put it back into her a little bit more square, if you will. But boy, there's a heifer there that, like I said, can go on and make a great cow, and one that to me offers a lot of soundness, but yet also offers a lot of eye appeal as well. We get into the red heifer, and she's just a little bit more trim. She's when you look at her from a condition standpoint, we see that she's getting very developed and pronounced out there in her lower chest. She's one that when you compare her to the heifer that goes out, she just doesn't offer near the width or the muscle or the mass to me to move her up any higher in there, but definitely one that's straight over her top line to me has got good lines. We just like to mass her up and power her up from that respect.
Congratulations there to a nice double entry class. Tag number 8, Diana Eloise, shown by Bethany Lyford of Kalispell, Montana, and finishing at the top of the class, Bonalila. Tag number 1, Isabel Galliard of Stevensville, Montana. Let's move to class number 12. Now this is a single entry class. The Promised Land Cattle Company bringing you tag number 21, Promised Land Cattle in Fishtail, Montana.
in our single entry, and here's a heifer that I think this one balances up really well. She's pretty uniform from front to back. She's one that I'd like to freshen her up a bit. I mean, she's just a little bit overweight in that regard, but she's one that you look at her from a length standpoint. She's one that I'd say is moderate and adequate in that respect. She's one that I think she's probably not one that's has like any excessive of anything. She's just one that blends together awfully good from front to back. Definitely one that very cowy looking, very broody. I mean, just one that just comes together pretty quickly. We'll see her back when we get in here for the overall championship as well. Congratulations.
The single entry right there from the Promised Land Cattle Company Fishtail, tag number 21. Let's call back the aforementioned tag number 21 from the Promised Land Cattle Company Fishtail, as well as tag number 1, Stevensville, Montana's Isabel Galliard with Bon Lila. We are going to make our selection for the senior female champion and reserve.
As we select your senior champion here, and there is some trade here, I guess, if you will. But to me, the one that probably, when you compare these two, and one that probably, when you offer something that's a little more straighter and truer from front to back, probably the most blended or whatever is going to be your red heifer out here. She'll be your champion out here, followed by the roan heifer out here for reserve. Like I said, that heifer, you have to appreciate her because she is so, offers so much bone, but yet so much flexibility. I just like to kind of like straighten her up in her top line. To me, she's just not as efficient as our champion out here, but two awfully good heifers out here in your division. Congratulations.
Reserve senior female champion, congratulations, going to tag number 1. That is Isabel Galliard of Stevensville, Montana with Bon Lila. And congratulations to our champion, tag number 21, Fishtail, Montana's Promised Land Cattle Company. All right, we're going to go now for the selection of our grand champion purebred female. So we'll welcome back to the Ford F-150 EcoBoost show ring our champions from the previous classes. They are tag number 21, Promised Land Cattle Company. Tag number 16, also of the Promised Land Cattle Company. Tag number 4, Tate Luth. And tag number 14, again, of the Promised Land Cattle Company. And again, this is for selection of grand and reserve grand champion purebred female. And again, a couple of newsworthy items if you didn't catch it before. The BBQ, the NILE BBQ. This is the first year we've done it at the NILE, our 50th anniversary. But I'll tell you what, I think it's going to be a real great addition to the NILE. It's the BBQ. It's going on up in the rodeo arena at the Metra. So you can go up there. They've got samples of all sorts of great things. Microbrews. You can buy package deals. You can buy singles, whatever you want to do. But go on up there and grab yourself one. Come back down, finish watching the stock show here. And also, if you have dear and close people that would like to be here but can't be here but would still like to watch the show, couple of ways they can do it. You can tell them to go to YouTube and then search Superior Prod. That is Superior, then Prod. Or they can go to liveauctions.tv and watch it that way as well.
As we get into selecting your champion purebred female, and I tell you, it's just been a really strong show. We've seen a lot of good cattle come through here, and a lot of females that, to me, really got a great future as well. So to me, we get into that May heifer. You know what I mean? And like I said, there's one that's cool made, and she's one that's very feminine, and one that's really sleek. And to me, what you'd say, really, you love her design up out of her neckline. She's one that's straight over her top line. I really like the way that heifer's tailhead sits down in her. I mean, it's nice and level. It's really just sits in there about perfect. We come into that next division, and this heifer here, gets in your eye pretty quick for me. She's to me in really nice shape. Really fresh, one that offers a lot of youth to me, but yet offers a lot of volume and to me length. And to me, like I said, there's times and not sure when she's going around the ring, she can get a little bit, like I said, I want to just say a little bit steep in the way she's coming down. A lot of times that makes her look just a little bit off in her hip. She wants to get up in her loin edge just a little bit. One that you have to keep kind of loin down a little bit. But boy, when, like I said, that's really an awfully good heifer. We come into our yearling heifer, and I'm just saying is, she's, like I said, she has some youthfulness to her too. I love her rib shape. I love the way it carries back into her. I think she's very maternal, very blended, one that's got some power and some bone. She's got a lot of length to her shape. She's one that when you look at predictability, I think, she's, right on course. And so, I mean, we conclude with our senior yearling. Like I said, she's a little heavier. I'd like to freshen her up a little bit. She does balance up awfully good, offers a lot of complete rib shape. To me, carries that in good. Yet, a lot of times those older heifers will get a little bit more dropped in their chest floor. She's really good in there. I mean, I'm saying she's really good, and even you don't see her blown out in there by any means. And so to me, it's there is some good quality out here. To me, today the heifer that jumps out and grabs me just for everything combined and at the stage of her life, and to me, not kind of when I look at her, it's going to be your yearling heifer coming out of third division. She's the one that I like out here today. Congratulations. As we come in here, and we had a little different kind of heifer in that particular division. And I mean, you're talking about a bold kind of female that's really powerful. We commented on, we'd like to see her tailhead maybe sit down in her. It kind of makes her look a little bit more, like I said, looser in her loin edge there, I mean, I just like to set that down in her, but man, she gets around, tracks awfully good, big footed, big bone. But the heifer that I like, to me replicates what we're doing here. The one that to me stands that, has that maternal look is going to be your Division II winner. I think that heifer's got a tremendous future, one that I like awfully well out here today.
Congratulations to our reserve champion there from the Promised Land Cattle Company. That is tag number 14, Lady in Roan. And congratulations to our grand champion. The grand champion at tag number 16, also from the Promised Land Cattle Company in Fishtail. Tag number 16, Missy Ruth. And with that, we will move right into the bulls following just a couple of pictures. If you are in the bull show, do not go far away. We'll be coming back very shortly. But it might be an opportunity for you to sprint up the hill into the Metro. Go check out the NILE Beer BQ going on right now. They've got live music up there from El Wincho. It's free admission. into the bulls now. Gonna go right into the bulls. We'll start with the early spring bull calves that were born March 1st through the end of April of this year. Going to be a single entry class. Tag number 22. Alta Cedar from the Promised Land Cattle Company in Fishtail, Montana.
Starting off your bull show, and I mean single entry here, and I mean one that he's a rugged kind of a bull, but yet he offers some smoothness. He's smooth muscled, what I'd say. He's one that's a little leaner. I'd like to maybe clean him up in his sheath a little bit underneath there. He's one that's a little bit, what I'd say, raw at this point. I mean, but when you look at him for his size compared to his age, he's definitely one that offers a lot of performance there. There's a lot of growth in that bull. The thing that really contributes to him so well is that when he asked to travel around the ring, he really comes off with a nice fluid stride, one that has some length to it, one that sets it down really true and square and comes down just like you said, like you like to when you come right on town to the ground. So nice bull here, and we'll see him back in here a little bit later. Congratulations.
That single entry is also going to be your late spring bull calf champion. Congratulations to the Promised Land Cattle Company with Alta Cedar out of Fishtail, Montana. Well, let's go now to class number 18, junior bull calves, born January 1st through the end of February of 2017. We've got another single entry, tag number 11, from the Cook Cattle Company in Crawford, Nebraska. This is Gizzy's Boxer.
Another single entry, and here's a bull that when you look at him, he's real youthful in his neck and head. He's definitely one that is upstanding. We have some. There's a little bit of daylight under him. He's a bull that when you look at him, you know that he offers a lot of growth potential. Definitely one that. To me, I look at him, and when we get him out here and we travel with him, he can narrow up a little bit as you walk him track away. But the other thing is he's fairly green. He's not in heavy flesh, heavy rig at all. So to me, I see in him power up as we put him on feed a little bit more longer. But a nice bull here in your single division out here today. Congratulations. See you back.
That is your junior bull calf champion. Again, tag number 11 is Gizzy's Boxer from the good folks in Crawford, Nebraska at the Cook Cattle Company. We'll drop now down to class number 23. Class 23, another single entry from the Promised Land Cattle Company. This is tag number 18, Revive. Again, this is coming into the arena right now. Tag number 18, that is Revive from the Promise Land Cattle Company in Fishtail.
Nice, powerful big bull here. And I mean, one that from a management standpoint, that bull's in nice shape. He's one that's definitely not too heavy. He's one that when you look at show bulls and whatnot, I mean, that bull's pretty fresh. I mean, he's one that a lot of times, we get concerned about, what they weigh and all this and that. And, I kind of like to look at them bulls like for what they are, because you got different frame scores and whatnot. They've done a beautiful job of getting him, like I said, to me in the right, nice shape. He's one that's mobile. He's sound. When you look at the muscle shape that he has, it's smooth. It lays into him. He's got a nice smooth shoulder. He's good up through his neck. He's extended, but he's moderate. That's the thing I like about him. He's one that is what I'd say middle of the road. One that's just to me balances up good, and to me just a very, very complete bull with a lot of eye appeal out here as well. Congratulations.
There is your junior champion bull. Again, tag number 18 from the Promised Land Cattle Company in Fishtail. All right, we will bring back now for selection of our purebred Shorthorn champion bull. Tag number 22, Alta Cedar from the Promised Land Cattle Company. Tag number 11 from Cook Cattle Company in Nebraska. That's Gizzy's Boxer. And another one from the Promised Land Cattle Company. Tag number 18, Revive.
Yeah, we select your champion bull, and I think it comes pretty quick and easy for me. The one that to me is just an obvious first for me, and I know there's some different stages here, but your big bull here, definitely is a dominating kind of a bull that I think is the obvious, so to speak. Like I said, I love him just because he's so smooth. I like his size. His size to me is a nice size bull. He's not, like I said, he's not too framey. He's middle of the road. I mean, he's one that can do a lot of things from an optional standpoint. That's just a bull that I love. And as he gets you out here and he tracks out, he comes down nice and square and true and really, really nice. Like I said, that bull just blends a lot of stuff together, and like I said, he's your champion. Reserve, that's kind of where the contest is. I'm going to go with the young bull out of the Division One here. I'm just saying I like that bull. I'm just saying those, to me, as we get into those, that bull just comes together a lot more better to me in his hind leg set. I just like the way he comes down to the ground. He's one that offers a little more length. He's one that's by far not heavy or to me too fat. I mean, to me, he could stand a little bit more weight. He'll be your reserve out here today. Congratulations. Let's give our exhibitors a nice round of applause. Nice job.
Congratulations there for your reserve champion, tag number 22, Alta Cedar from the Promised Land Cattle Company in Fishtail. And congratulations to tag number 18. That is your champion. Also from the Promised Land Cattle Company, Revive. Just want to let you know that at the conclusion of our Shorthorn show here, we will be doing the raffle. Montana Shorthorn Association would like to thank everyone for purchasing their raffle tickets. All proceeds are going to go to the fundraiser junior activities. And again, we will do our Shorthorn raffle following the Shorthorn show here. All right, let's move ahead here to class number 32. Going to bring some females back in for just a moment here. This is the early spring heifer calf Shorthorn show. Early spring heifer calf Shorthorn Plus. Calf between March 1st and the end of April. This is tag number 19. Again, it is Long Cool Woman off the Promised Land Cattle Outfit in Fishtail, Montana.
Starting off your Shorthorn Plus show, and I heard the announcer say it was her name is One Cool Woman. But anyway, that is a cool heifer. I do. I mean, she is cool. She's one that she's fresh. They've done a really nice. She's done a nice job of getting that heifer in good shape. She's one that, like I said, is useful, but yet she offers so much balance, eye appeal. One that I like that she offers some meat and some shape and some muscle, but it's the right kind of muscle. You know what I mean? It's longer, it's flatter, but she combines that. She looks like one that would be easy to feed. She's almost looks like one that someday we're going to have to monitor that. But man, there's a nice heifer to start off a year with. One that I know she's going to have a lot of fun with down the road. Like I said, that's just an awfully nice heifer starting off your plus heifer shot here. Congratulations. We'll see you back. Okay.
That is your early spring heifer calf champion again, Long Cool Woman, tag number 19 out of Fishtail, Montana off the Promised Land Cattle Company. We'll go to class number 38 now. This is early spring yearling females calved March 1st through the end of April. Tag number 2, Miss Ellie's Child, shown by Coy Keisler from Savory, Wyoming.
As we get a single entry, and here's a really long-spined heifer, really long-bodied, one that is really exceptional in that respect. She's one that I'd like to maybe just get her a little nickel deeper. She's one that probably doesn't level quite as good as I'd like out of her hip. Feet and legs, I think she's pretty true there. She can get just a little bit directional when she walks away from you, but here's one that she's good in her chest floor, like I said, nice up out of her neck. I mean, she's a fresh heifer, one that, like I said, is very ideal in what you're looking at there. Like I said, they've done a beautiful job of getting her ring ready out here too as well. So we'll see her back in here for your overall championship. That's a nice heifer there, young man. Congratulations.
And that is going to be your junior champion female. It's Miss Ellie's Child, tag number 2, shown by Coy Keisler of Savory, Wyoming. All right, let's move now to the selection of our grand champion Shorthorn Plus female. We'll welcome back into the Ford EcoBoost Show Arena. Tag number 2, Miss Ellie's Child, shown by Coy Keisler. And tag number 19, Long Cool Woman, off the Alta Cedar, her net that is Alta Cedar off the Promised Land Cattle Company in Fishtail.
As we select your Shorthorn Plus female, and we had like I said, not big numbers here, but to me a lot of quality. And I think the thing that you get into is just really what's your personal choice as far as what do you like, and you know what there is some trade here. You got one that's a little more bigger and longer and a little more developed. You got one that you're kind of like trying to predict the future a little bit and get the crystal ball out. So, but to me, the one that comes out here and best represent what I like just from a depth standpoint and lots of rib shape and middle, that'll be your calf champion. She'll be your champion out here. That's just really, really a nice, exceptional heifer. Your reserve will follow by the young man's, to me, junior heifer here as well. So that'll be your champion. Reserve over here. Congratulations. Let's give them a round of applause. Nice heifers out here today.
Nice heifers indeed there. The reserve shown by Coy Kaiser, Miss Ellie's Child, and your grand champion of the Promised Land Cattle Company, Long Cool Woman. Congratulations.